Okay. First of all, good morning to all. Yeah. So maybe we are meeting after quite long, after maybe 2 or 3 months later. 3 months. Yeah. 3 months. Yeah. So today's my topic is, as you can see, the liberating a self. So as you can see, so generally what I feel the importance with this topic is that Ralph told me maybe a weeks back, and he told me what topic I'm going to speak. So I just choose this topic as the liberating the self. Because the importance point of the liberating the self is that, as we can see, that first of all, that liberation is a very important for all of the sentient beings. In the Balakupi, where I reside, so there we have the one small pound. Okay. Yeah, so we have the one small pound. Over there, the pound name of that pound is Animal Liberation Pound. So we used to get the fish from the market, and we liberate that fish in that small pound. But one thing is that in here center is the most important point of the liberating the self. We have liberated so many animals, but we fail to liberate the self. So most important thing is that now we have to liberate ourselves. Because the liberating is the one point that, again, you have to fully understand what I mean by the liberating. Still, if you look at ourselves, we are not liberated. We are still in the bondage. Bondage yeah. Hello. Yeah, so still we are not totally free. Because we can see that the small incidents make us very upset. Small incidents make us very happy. It shows very clear that we are not fully liberated. So these two extreme ways, very happy, very unhappy, two extreme ways. We have to go beyond these two extremes. When you are too happy, you cannot sleep. When you are too sad, you cannot sleep. It shows that these both two extremes are not good for us. But still, we want we are eager, or still we want extreme happiness. So that's why when we have to go beyond these two, extreme happiness and the extreme, the suffering, what we have to do is that we have to liberate ourselves. That's why you can see the Buddha have taught the nirvana. Nirvana is something that we are going beyond of all these two things. Going beyond of these two worldly, the worldly emotions. We call the worldly emotions. So that's why Buddha have taught the few ways of the different ways of the liberating the self. So the first way is the Buddha have taught the liberating the self is the ceasing the consciousness. Ceasing the consciousness is something like that when we are the conscious with the something, when we are the conscious when we are the conscious with the anything, we are not able to liberate the self. This theory might get you a little bit confused. I will explain you more detail, otherwise it will create a lot of misunderstanding. So that's why Buddha have told for the cease the consciousness. Cease the consciousness is, because today my talk will be little bit different than as usual, okay? Because some of the senior have told me go more deeper in the Buddhism. So usually I just start the general field. Can you raise your arm who are coming the first time my talk. Okay, then I cannot go very deep.
It's okay.
Okay. Anyway, so seizing the consciousness, something like that. The Buddha had told that we have to seize all this consciousness. Seizing the consciousness idea is something like that. Whenever we seize the beauty and the ugly, good and the bad, whenever we seize these, the objects or these two things, these two entities, it will bring us a lot of the thoughts, a lot of the emotions in our mind. While bringing a lot of the emotions and the thoughts in our mind, so it will bring a lot of the negative thoughts and the negative feelings. Example, when we seize the good things, what happens is that we will generate the attachment. Desire will come. When we see the bad things, we will generate the anger. So that's why it is the spontaneous reactions of the human mind. So that's why in the Buddha's what he first taught, that these also like this of the sayings of the different things is the one, the main cause of the bringing the lot of the emotions in our mind. So that's why what the Buddha had taught, the one point he had told that there is one way of the liberating the self is the seizing our own consciousness. It means the seizing our own mind. Seizing our mind is a Buddha what I have told him that the example, a very simple example, I will give you the one thing that whenever we seize some of the very good things, as I told before, we will generate a very strong attachment. When we see some of the bad things, spontaneously we will generate the anger towards that. Generating the strong attachment, generating the anger, it's the one of the main cause, or the root cause of the bringing the lot of the mental unhappiness, mental pains. So here what we have to do is that to overcome all these all these of the negative emotions, Buddha told to seize your own mind. Now here you will ask me the one question, how we have to seize our mind? How we have to end our mind? So that's why Buddha told stop taking the rebirth. That's the word he used, the parinirvana. Parinirvana is something, you are getting my point? Maybe I got a little bit on the Buddhism, maybe, okay? Okay, this is a parinirvana. Parinirvana is a seizing our own mind, or the seizing our own mind. It's a parinirvana is something like we are just blocking, or we are just eliminating our own mind, our own consciousness. When I mean stopping taking the rebirth. So that's why what the Buddha have told is that all these of the negative emotions or the negative thoughts will arise in our own mind. Whenever we are not able to seize our mind, whenever we are not able to eliminate the mind, we are not able to overcome this. This is the one way he have told for the general people. This is the one layer. Now the other layer, or the other ways that Buddha have told to liberating the self, the way of the liberating the self is to differentiate in our looking into our thought, and the differentiating the different type of the thoughts in our mind. Differentiating the different thought in our mind, and eliminating all the negative thoughts. Eliminating all the negative thoughts and generating the right thoughts. It's the one way of the liberating the self. There is a second way. Now the third way, maybe I will talk it later, but up till here, what the point is that whenever we see the different, whenever we seize the different objects, whenever we seize the different object, what happens is that we in our mind we are generating so many different thoughts, and the thought will arise. So up till here we cannot stop all the thoughts which arises in our mind. So the first level the Buddha have told how to seize all these thoughts, how to control over all these thoughts. Very simple example, I will give you the one thing. Whenever you goes in the the shopping mall or wherever, when you see the good objects over in the mall, certainly you will generate the attachment towards that object. You are not able to cease these thoughts. You cannot overcome these old thoughts. That's you will experience it. So here the first step, the Buddha, what he taught, how to cease all these the thoughts of attachment, all these thoughts of the negative thoughts. That's one of the first steps what the Buddha have taught. So right now, what is happening is like that this is the one thought we have to know how to overcome all this attachment. Because of the strong attachment, so what we are doing, we are seeking the further better life because of the attachment. So that's why, because of the attachment, we are buying such unnecessary things, too many unnecessary things. So when you buy too much of the unnecessary things, what will happen? When you buy too much of the unnecessary things, then you have to sell some necessary things. That will happen later. Why you are buying so much of the unnecessary things? Because of your own attachment that you are buying. Because of your own attachment. Actually, you don't need it at all. There was one occasion in the abroad, I was invited to the one dinner place. So that person is living in such a huge mansion. Actually, she is alone. She is alone, but only the 3 or 4 maids, the house worker. Huge mansion, she is living like that. Actually, she don't require it at all. But her attachment, her keeping all the attachment toward her fame, her keeping all the social status, she is buying all this huge mansion. But I have not told her that you don't need like that. But all this she is buying because of her own attachment. Because now, just look at yourself, you are also might be doing like that, same the way of doing it. Because of that of the attachment, so you will build so much of the desire, you will generate so much of the desire. But we cannot fulfill every desire. When the person who have failed to fulfill their own desire, what will happen? That person will feel unhappy, sad, all this comes. Because he has failed to fulfill the own desire. In the reality, his life is not like that. When you cannot fulfill all your desire, you don't have to feel the sad. You don't have to, but you are feeling the sad. Just simple example, just for me, when I have to buy some things, when I need some things, first I will make a list. 5 or 6 on list, when I prepare the list. After prepare the list, then I will buy the only 3. Because this is my rule. This is overcoming the attachment and desire. So that's why you can look at me that I don't buy any gadgets or the luxurious item which cost more than the $20. This is 1,000 rupees. So that's why you can see normally I wear the one watch. So it costs only 150 rupees. So many years I'm wearing that watch. Right? And the one occasion in the abroad, the one man and this group, they just saw me wearing their very old watch. So they just told me that they want to offer me the one watch. So I told them I'm not wearing the watch which costs more than $20. So the group, this one lady, she told me that even Rinpoche, you don't wear it, you can just keep it on your table. So that's I don't know, I cannot accept that also. Because desire is something like that. When you have a strong desire, then you will say, okay, fine. Even I don't wear it, I will keep it on table. That's another desire. Desire is a very tricky way. So I told him, no, maybe only thing that I will accept the watch if you agree me that you will allow me to give that watch to the other. So yeah, so then they allowed it. The point is that the desire in our lives comes like that way. So every desire is very tricky. So there was one story we are having in the Tibetan tradition. We have the one story. There is one hermit, meditator. He went to the top of the mountain to meditate. So he renounced all the worldly lives. He renounced the worldly life and he was meditating in the top of the mountain. So what happened is that he usually his daily routine is like that. He used to spend most of his time for meditating. And some of the villagers, they used to offer him the 1 kg of the milk for his food, his food. So what happened is one occasion, the rat came into his hermit, so rat drank all the milk. So he was a little bit upset with the rat, this trouble. So what he thought is, now I have to remove the rat. So I should get the one cat to remove the rat. So he just started to keep the cat to prevent the rat entering his house. So what happened is that while he was kicking the rat, so what he felt that now it is a little bit difficult to raise that cat. Sorry, the cat, because now he needs the extra kg of the milk to take care of the cat. So what happened is that now he ordered the extra kg of the milk. So villager told him that now we can offer you the 1 kg of the milk, but extra kg you have to pay it. Otherwise it's quite difficult for us to giving you the 2 kg of the milk daily. So what happened is that he was taking a milk for the few weeks. Then he thought that, oh, why I have to pay the milk extra kg rupees for the milk? Maybe I will buy the cow, so I don't have to buy the milk. Then he started to buy the cow. What happened is after buying the cow, what happened is now he thought, oh, they should be the one other servant to look after the cow, because I cannot look after all this cow. So then the farming started, everyone started in that hermit. So same thing is in our desire, it works like that way in our day-to-day life. It creates you, it forces you, it tells us to buy the more and more things object. So that's why one occasion I saw one of the advertisement. So in every advertisement and nothing, it was just trying to generate the attachment, that's all. So when they are just creating the attachment toward that object, this is all that's why in our life the attachment is one of the huge obstacle to overcome, to when we have to live the very happy life. So that's why to the attachment, so that's why the Buddha have told the first thing that the liberating the self is the first way is that to overcome the attachment. Overcome the attachment. When you are attached to something very strongly, you cannot liberate yourself. So that's why attachment is one of the root cause of the generating the desire. When you have the 10 desire, it means that you are bringing the 10 problems. When you have the 5 desire, you are bringing the 5 problems. That's why what the Buddha have taught, we should have a less desire. But Buddha is not against of the desire. When we have to live, we need the desire. We cannot live without the desire. But if you have the less desire, you will be the more happier. If you have the more desire, it means the more unhappiness. So that's why what is then but we are generating the attachment because of the ignorance, because of the not knowing, of the defects and the negative points of the attachment. We are not knowing of that. So here later on we will combine the few of the meditation techniques how to overcome the attachment. We will have the session or we will have the one session, the meditation session, how to overcome the attachment. So that's why attachment, because we are generating the lots of the attachment of the desire because of the ignorance, not knowing. So ignorance is that's why the Buddha have told that ignorance is the root of every of the human's suffering. So ignorance is not knowing is something like that. It's a very strange thing. Ignorance is a very strange thing. So example I will tell you the one story. There is one man who visited the one temple. He brought a very brand new shoe. While he was entering the temple, he was slightly doubted that someone might steal his shoe. So he just write one note and kept near the shoe. So he just wrote that whoever the steal, yeah. So where's my copy?
Lord.
Okay. So he just left one note. Lord said that whoever steals my shoes, you will regret, because I am an international boxer. Whoever steals my shoe, you will get regret, because I am an international boxer. So later on, he just went inside the temple, and it took quite long. So after he was coming out of the temple, he was so surprised that his shoe was stolen by someone. stolen someone, and they have another note given the way that sport way the thief has stole the shoe. He found one other note. In the other note, the whatever said that whoever comes after me, who the owner of this shoe, whoever tries to chase after me, you will get regret. Because I am international runner. So that is the point. So this is the point that ignorance is something like that when you are not knowing. Ignorance is something like that you are not able to see the others, what are the others. So ignorance is something like that. So while in the desire and the attachment is something like that, you are just seeing the one side. You are not seeing the other side. Just seeing the one side, you are not seeing the whole side. So that's why it leads to the loss of the problem. That person is just looking at his own side. He feels that I'm an international boxer who no one will dare to steal my shoe. But he's not knowing there is international runners over there. So ignorance and all these are the negative talk like desire, attachment is something like that. When you have a strong generated attachment, what will happen? You will just see the only of your welfare, your happiness. You are not able to see the welfare or the happiness of your partner. You will not be able to see that when you have a strong attachment. When you have generated a strong desire, you will just fall in on your welfare. You will just trap in on your welfare. You cannot see the welfare or the happiness of the others. So that's why Buddha told to overcome the attachment. If you need someone with genuine happiness, if you want the real happiness, what you have to do, you have to overcome the attachment. Then when you overcome the attachment, because you can see very clearly all the attachment arises from the self-thinking idea. When you think too much of the self, then what will you generate? The attachment, the desire. Whenever you look at any of the showroom, at the watch showroom or whatever, what thought will come in your mind? I should have that watch. You will never think that my partner should have that watch. Have you ever thought like that? Never. One occasion, I will tell you one thing that usually, so in my family, so parents sometimes they used to quarrel each other. So one occasion, my mother told my father brought a few different cakes. So my mother told my father that you don't buy the cake which I like. You don't buy the cake which I like. He just told my father. So I told my mother, then why you have to worry? If you want to eat whatever cake, you can buy. I will sponsor you. I will give you. So these also thought arising these all thought arising when you think too much of the self. So she just look from the cake she liked. So this all comes. So that's why when you need some genuine happy life, you have to overcome the attachment. Otherwise, these all attachment will bring you so much of the negative thoughts, like whatever I mentioned before. So that's why Buddha told to overcome the attachment. But still, you should not get confused with the attachment or the love. Attachment is something which based on the thinking of the self-welfare, self-interest. When your thought which based on the self-interest and the self-happiness, this we call the attachment. So that's why when you have to liberate the self, what you have to do? You have to overcome the attachment. But don't think that it is very difficult to overcome the attachment. As I told you before, I have not fulfilled all my desire. As I told you before, if I have 5 things to buy, I will buy only 3. But still I am happy. It shows very clear that the desire is not related with any happiness. Not related. So I'm wearing just a simple watch or costing the 100 rupees or 150 rupees, still I'm happy. It does not mean that you don't think that when you are not able to wear the Omega or the Rolex watch, you don't feel that you can't be happy, okay? When you are wearing the Omega or the Rolex or a watch, you are just feel the happy, that's we call the negative happy. When you are looking at the negative happy, because you are just feeling that you have become some of the superior while wearing the Omega or Rolex watch. In the reality, you don't become the superior, you are just the imputing or you are just creating all these thoughts. So that's why, because there's one friend, just one very close to me, so he used to tell me that while I'm talking with him, so he was wearing the Tag 4, that's a very branded company watch. So while I'm talking with him, he told me that there is only one of his colleagues who wear the Tag 4 watch in the entire office. It shows very clear that while he is wearing the taqwa watch, he is looking to all the others what they are wearing. So his happiness is related with so many of the circumstances, so many of the environment. So this is the very difficult to obtain like this happiness. Maintain the right, this happiness is a very, very difficult. So look at my happiness. I don't wear, sometimes I don't wear watches. So I can happy. I don't have to look others what watch they are wearing. So this is the one point how to overcome the attachment. Now I will teach the few techniques of how to overcome the attachment. This is we will talk this right now. What I'm talking the theoretical session. Okay, practical session we will do the meditation how to overcome the attachment. At least you can see that when you decrease the attachment, you can see the very big difference in your life. So as I told you before, there are so many peoples and so many in this, the modern society, there's all this advertisement company, these all have generated in the people's mind, they have generated so much of the attachment toward the gadgets, toward the motors, toward the cars, toward the luxurious buildings and houses. So now the people started to think that if I have no car, I cannot become happy. If I have no house, I cannot become happy. It's a totally false. It's the total. You can become happy without a house. It's up to you. People always make their happiness as something most of the people always they feel that when they have no car, they cannot become happy. Then I should be the saddest person in this world. No car, no this one. Yeah.
No car, so we should be the saddest person in the world.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, then if you have no car, then I think you have to talk with the Raf when you go in the Bangalore city. So Raf is helping me even I don't have the car. That one point I'm happy and Raf is helping me. So
Raf, kindly pass your number.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the life where, at one point we can see that life is become the one point in this modern society, our life have very much improved from medical issue and medical fund, very much improved. But still, we have the lot of the changes we need in the modern society. So since if you look at the small kids at every schools, what will they feel? They will think that they should have like this and this. So that's why one occasion, I was talking in the Taiwan prison. So they have a very kid detention center, very young kids. Maybe 15 or 14 years of these old kids. I was just wondering how they caught and how they bought in the prison. So most of they are the cause of the stealing. Stealing case they caught they put up in the prison. Then I went to one kid detention center, few kid detention centers, lots of maybe there hundreds or hundreds of kids. So why these souls why the stealing number has increased like that? Why these small kids, they started to think of the stealing? Because they thought that if they can be happy if they get some kind of gadget. After sake of getting that gadget, they started to steal. But they have not get that advice that you can still be happy without all having these old gadgets. They have not get this information. So that's why when we have to create a very clean society, when you have to create a very good society where there is no thief, what we have to do? We have to give the information overcoming the attachment. But the one thing, sad thing is a law can only punish the culprit. Law's job is there to punish the culprit, but they cannot eliminate the crime. When you have to eliminate a crime, what do we have to do? We have to pass the right message. But up till here, there's so much of the wrong messages coming. From media, from advertisement, everything. So one occasion, I think I told you, there is when I was maybe 15 or 20 years back, when you used a Fair and Lovely, this the face cream, Fair and Lovely, they used to make the advertisement say that you will get fair using the 1 month. Now they come very fast and they are telling that you will become very fair in the 1 week. Maybe now the months back, I saw that in the 1 day you will become very fair. Such a wrong message you are passing so much along. Someone has told me that now there is another face cream. It will tell that instantly you will become fair. So these souls are all passing so much of the wrong information in people's mind. But the one sad thing is that we cannot pass the right message in the young people's mind. like what I told you, information of the overcoming the attachment, information about how to controlling the desire. These are also the root keys to liberating the self. Liberating the self. So that's why you can see very clearly in your day-to-day life when you have the very strong attachment towards the self, even in the human's relation, when you have a very strong attachment towards someone, what will you do? You will try to possess that. Possess that, and then you will later on you will forget that that also is a human. You will try to possess it like your gadget. What we call the possessive attitude. This all arises when you have very strong attachment. When you have a genuine love towards someone, possessive attitude won't come. Possessive attitude arises when you have a strong attachment toward them. Then you will treat not as them as a human, treat them as your own gadget. So that's this all the wrong attitudes arises from all these negative thoughts like the attachment. That's why the Buddha have told to overcome the attachment. The overcoming the attachment is it's not only the religious issue, okay? It is not only the point of the religious issue. It's also any main point because I've told you many times that being as a human, what we need is a very happy life, very peaceful life. That's the most important thing. So whether you follow any religion or not, that's not very important. We require a very peaceful and happy life. To lead that peaceful and a happy life, we have to know so many of the methods how we can lead the peaceful and the happy lives. So otherwise, that even if you follow any religion, but you cannot have the peaceful and the happy lives, then I think it's wasting your time. So one occasion I told them that even if I cannot spend the peaceful and the happy life becoming a monk, then I might be the very stupid monk. So leading the peaceful and happy life is that's why the overcoming the attachment. So that's why now particularly how we have to overcome the attachment. Now particularly overcome the attachment, the Buddha have told the impermanent theory. Impermanent theory, when the Buddha have enlightened the Buddhahood, his first teaching is impermanent. His last teaching is impermanent. And he was a state of the dying, state of the death. The Ananda asked him to please not die. So that Buddha told that now my time has come. Now this is all the contaminated object, all the things are impermanent. He gave the lectures he did the discourse on the field of the impermanent. So impermanent theory is one of the main Buddhism theory, impermanent. But it is not related to any religion idea. As you can see, everything is changeable. Everything will not remain forever. Everything is changeable. So even if you look at this moment, this time, it won't leave. It's a momentary. But now what we have to do? We have to make the good use of it. We have to make a good use of it. Even when now we have to, if you look at any object, anything, everything is impermanent. It won't remain forever. It won't remain forever means it gives you some lots of the courage. When you look at your own pain, suffering, these all are impermanent. It won't remain forever. When the person is depressed or stressed, what they feel is that they will suffer forever. When you start to think like that, you will suffer forever, then what will happen is that you cannot overcome all these pains. So that's why what we have to do is look at the impermanence nature. Impermanence nature. Suppose if you look at any good object, its object is impermanent. It won't remain. It won't remain forever. If you look at your name, fame, it will not remain forever. Once you have not a thought idea of the impermanent, it is very difficult to do. Just a few months back, one of the men came to my place. He was just broke up with his girlfriend. So he was in a very deep state shock, and he was just getting after the 2-3 weeks later from my place. So he told after breaking with his girlfriend, he just started to have the alcohol, and so he thought that now his life is very much difficult. Then what he found is he read the books, lot of the books. Then he found the Buddha's word impermanent. So he told how stupid I am. I thought this relation will remain forever and permanent. So that word saved me. He told me that. The impermanent Buddhist, the impermanent word saved him a lot. So if you have a human relationship, everything is impermanent. It means that don't grasp it as permanently it will leave. Don't grasp it. When you grasp it If it sees it as a permanent, then when you see the changes, then you will feel unhappy. So that's why whenever you see the quarrels between the human, they will say, you change a lot. Yeah, everyone will change because we are all impermanent. You won't find any person without changing. You won't find any person like that. So they will quarrel and say, you change a lot. Everyone changes. That's what the big thing is, changing. Am I right? So that's why people want that. So if you look at the humans, that relation builds up on just looking at the first impression. That won't remain forever. It is not a permanent. It will change. But you have to understand it. You have to know it. Everything will change. Then it will bring you the more, the tolerance towards the changes of the others. Once you think that everything is unchangeable, and then when you see the changes of the other, then you can't tolerate. That's the one big problem comes in the humans, the life. So that's why so many people used to tell me that the first day they will come together and they're very good friends. When I meet her later after 1 or 2 years, then they will be friends no more. Then they will tell, they change it. She changed a lot. He changed a lot. So we have some argue or something like all this comes. Because they cannot keep the humans' relation properly. Because main reason is that they are not able to understand the impermanent. First of all, that you should understand that everything can be changed. Everything is changeable. Everything is impermanent. So that's why even if you look at any gadget, any object, everything is impermanent. It won't remain forever. So when you have the generated attachment to something, you will feel that it will remain forever as before. Very simple example. When you purchase the watch, the brand new watch, then while you are looking at this watch, while you are looking at this watch, and when you are looking at this watch, and the first time, there will be this immense the joy will be there when you ride the bike or a new car or whatever. You will have an immense joy. But later on, after 3 or 4 days later, that joy will be not there. That immense joy will not be there. What the reason? What the reason behind it? What is the reason? Because the one thing is very clear is the first that your happiness is a very negative happiness. You have generated a very wrong way that happiness. So that's why that happiness is not to remain quite long. So when you have generated some happiness on the basis of the right matter, that happiness will remain very long. Example for me, when I'm thinking that what the good deeds or what I have done for so many years, whenever I think that all the good deeds what I have done, still I feel very happy. I will rejoice. Thinking of all these good deeds what I have done. So this is something like that. So this is the one way of the liberating self. So now here, what we will do is that we will do some of the meditation session on the impermanent. Now this meditation session on the impermanent, what you have to do is just things that what the changes comes into your life, and just in the 10 years, 5 years, or just see that if you look at in your life, you can see that so many people you have visited or you have the friend, but they have passed away, not here. Now even if you look at your own character, your own attitude, you just look at all this and see how many changes it comes into your life. Okay? Later on what you have to do is that this impermanent item, you should think all the objects or all the phenomena are impermanent. It can be changed. Okay? It can be changed, it is not remain as the permanent. Okay? So that we call as the impermanent. Just think, okay? Just look at the 5 or 10 minutes and the back time, the 5 years back or 10 years back, and just look at what the changes comes in your whole life, okay? Then you will see, okay, just look at back to your life. It's clear, isn't it? Okay? What are the changes I think it comes in your life? I will leave the 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes. So in the Buddhist meditation session, what we used to do is the first session we will just talk about the impermanence of the self. Just thinking the impermanence of the self, that we will talk. Lots of the impermanence. There is one story. There is one lama. So he became the very good friend of the one ghost. So that ghost, then Lama had told him that now just tell me that when my death is near, when my end is near, just tell me. Because right now I have to do so many of the roads. When my death is near, I have to prepare for my death. so I will prepare for it. So just let me know when the my death is coming. But the ghost just have told him that okay, I will remind you when the death is coming. Okay, I will remind you. So what happened is that then the ghost is giving a lot of the information about the death of his Lama's neighbor, Lama's friend. And as he told that one of the villagers died, your friend was died. So he was giving a lot of the information, the death of the others. So what happened is that one occasion, now the ghost told him, the Lama, that now you are going to die tonight. So Lama was completely shocked and told him that why you have not passed me this message a few years back. I will prepare for my death. So then the Lama had told, that the ghost had told the Lama that I am passing you so much of the message for you, but you are not carrying my message. I told you that your neighbor is dead. I told you that your friend is dead. These ones I am giving you the indication of your death, but still you are not carrying it. So same thing is the humans, like the most difficult period is facing the death is one of the difficult periods in our life. So that's why these are the impermanent factors. From this point, it's just like the it's just like the rehearsal practice of the facing the death. So everyone, if you look at any person, that is the worst thing in our life. But one thing is quite clear: we have to face that. Whether you want or whether you don't want, we have to face that. We have to face that the problem. So best thing is so that's why in the Buddhist meditation technique, first we talk about impermanent facet. But here just look at the changes of what comes into your life. Okay, 5 or 10 years. Look at from the 5 or 10 years back and what changes comes. Okay, I will leave for 5 minutes. Okay, you got clear, isn't it? Okay. Okay, now did you see the something of changes in your life, or what do you feel? Do you feel that you have not changed at all?
So many.
A lot of things are changing. Okay. So now the second way is liberating the self is the cutting your own ego. Cutting your own ego. This is now the difficultest, very tough job. So cutting the ego. Because you can see that the ego is a very strange thing in our life. So therefore in the Tibetan we are the saying that even the very high practitioner, they carry the ego. Even the child, they carry the ego. So cutting the ego is one of the most difficultest job. So Buddha had told the one thing that when we have to liberate ourselves, second thing is we have to cut the ego. We have to eliminate our own ego. This is a very difficult job. So ego is a very strange thing. That ego is a very strange thing that we will generate in very different ways. I heard there is in one prison in Siberia, so many years back, they have a big prison in Siberia. So they take a lot of prisoners. So they are the freed prisoners as put out in together in one small cell. So they started to talk each other. So that the prisoner have told that when I came to this prison the first time, there are only the few vehicles passes through this prison. So now there are a lot of the cars and the vehicles are passing. Now the second prisoner have told them that when I was here, there is no vehicle at all, only the bull cart is passing. Only the bull cars are passing. Now the third prisoner told them, what is a bull cart? What is a vehicle? You can see that now the third prisoner wants to say that he is the most senior prisoner. So that's why he is saying that what is a bull cart? What is a vehicle? Because even he feels that he is quite proud of being the very senior prisoner. These also, just like egos works like this, very different ways, egos. So cutting the ego is the most difficult task. So you can see that all the negative thoughts like anger, jealousy, these also arises from the ego. When you have a very strong ego, then you cannot tolerate with some of the unrespected words towards you. So one occasion, they had the quarrel with the couple. So later on, they discussed with their problem. The problem started with a very, very, very small thing. It's a very small thing that the wife had not used a very respected word towards her husband. Usually, I think in the Tibetan we have a la, it's a G in India. So one occasion the wife has just called her husband name without adding the G or that la, Tibetan word la. So therefore her husband get quite angry with her tune, was not using the respected word. Because actually it's just not hurt him, it's hurting his ego. So once he was hurting his ego, he cannot tolerate at all. So that's why when we have to liberate the self, the second way Buddha talk about eliminating the ego. Eliminating the ego, it's means that now we have to overcome our own ego. So overcome our ego, what we have to do now? That's the one point. So ego is the base of bringing all of the mental stress, mental pains. Ego is one of the root cause of bringing all this. So that's why, because whenever someone uses a very humiliated words towards you, whenever someone uses a very harsh word towards you, you feel very lots of pain because of your own ego. When you have no more ego, even if someone uses a very harsh word towards you, you won't feel any pain. As you can see, that the story of the Buddha is quite famous. Someone just using the very harsh word towards Buddha. Someone split on the Buddha's feet, but the Buddha can still keep the smiling. Because these old words, the splitting on his feet cannot hurt the Buddha's ego. That's the main reason. So now it is the big amazing. I don't feel that this story is a big amazing thing. One of the amazing thing is if you can do like that, then it will be a very big amazing thing. Then your name will be put in the Guinness World Book of Record. Reality, then it will become the Guinness Book of the Record. So it is possible. Now we have to do it like that way. So that is the second way is just cutting that. Cutting is just ego. Now the cutting is ego. So maybe we will take a few. I think as we have gathered more than 1 hour, so maybe we will take a 15-minute break. Then again we will just talk to resume. Then we will. I will resume my talk, and we will keep the question answer session. Okay. Now we will have the 15-minute break. Okay. So enjoy your break. Enjoy your break without attachment and ego. Okay.
There's some snacks being served upstairs, some tea and snacks for you.
And actually, the problems into the human's life. I mean, if you look at yourself, I think you can see what's the truth, your ego. You can see it very clearly. So that's why the one thing that now we have to understand, when we have to overcome the ego, what we have to do is that we have to, first of all, that we have to understand. One most important thing is that we have to understand that the value of the others cherishing attitude. Values of the others cherishing attitude. Because right now there are the two attitudes: self-cherishing attitude and the others cherishing attitude. Because we all want the happiness. Humans want your happiness is a very much depend for your rest of family members' happiness. When one of the family members suffered, it will affect the happiness of the rest of the family members. So your happiness is very much depend on the others' happiness. So once when you have to gain the happiness, you have to think very properly of the happiness of the others. That means that not a self-cherishing attitude, others-cherishing attitude is the most important. So here generally when you look at the ego, when the ego always arises, when you start to feel that you are the superior than the others. So that's why they are the Buddhist, the practice called the considers yourself as the lowest among the all. You have to consider yourself as the lowest among the all. Considering that yourself the lowest among others, first it will be very difficult for you. It will be very difficult for you. You have to consider yourself as the lowest among the all. But you are feeling very difficult because you are not knowing the result of it. When you know the result of this practice, then you will like this practice. Practically, I think I told you the one story that this which happened in my life. So many incidents. I will practice this. I will consider myself as the lowest among the all. Very simple thing that one occasion in the Majestic area, I was invited. Invited into this one drunkard inside the bar. He was shouting and inviting me to come into the bar. I just ignored the drunkard. And the drunkard was very angry and chased after me. He ran after me and he just stopped me in front of me and he shouted at me and told me that why you are ignoring me? Why you are ignoring me? He shouted. He was at the state of quite anger. So at that state, I just touched my palm, bowed my head, and I told him that I'm sorry. That moment, he was very calm. If I try to explain that I'm a monk, I'm not allowed to drink the alcohol, he won't listen. He's a drunkard. Second, he stated at the age of the anger. He was in the state of the anger. It is no reason to explain. So only thing is that I have to drop my ego. That's the best way to settle this dispute. Dropping my ego and considering him as a superior than me, then it solves the problem. So that's why in our day-to-day life, there are so many problems we cannot solve because we cannot drop our ego. Because we cannot consider the others or considers others the superior than yourself. But here, that's why there is one of the tradition practice we call that considers yourself as the lowest among all. That you have to consider, you have to think those others all the superior than you. But here you should not misunderstand that when I talk about the considering others superior than you, I don't mean that you have to accept whatever the others say. You don't have to accept it. If they are saying that something unreasonable things, you don't have to accept. You don't have to accept it at all. As you look at His Holiness Dalai Lama and the Chinese point, His Holiness Dalai Lama also practices these types of meditation, but he will not accept whatever the Chinese say. Sometimes he gives a very tough reply. So this is just like that. It doesn't mean that we have to follow and we have to accept what the others says. That's why this practice now from today on, just try to consider yourself. Think as a yourself lowest among all. Just consider or think of all others are superior than you. Just start to think that, then you will see the differences. When you come in the family or in your family, lot of the disputes arises because when you cannot drop your ego. When you cannot drop your ego, then you cannot listen to others' point of view. You are not able to listen to others' point of view because you always feel that you are right. You are right and you always feel that others are wrong. Why? Because of the ego. Ego is something, as a strange thing that is always keep the saying that you are right, others are wrong. So that's why we cannot see the other's point. So that's why what we have to do now, what the first step of the overcoming the ego is that consider yourself as the lowest among the all. Quite easy, isn't it? To understand is quite easy. Doing is quite difficult. But it's not impossible. Okay, it is very possible. When you keep on the continuation of this practice, then you will see that it will bring some of the changes. Yeah. So sometimes in monastery, some small monks, sometimes they won't do. Sometimes they will just not do it properly. Sometimes one occasion I scolded the one small monk who was not doing his job properly. So what happened later on, I realized that I scolded him very wrongly. Actually, he had not done the mistake. Mistakes were done by some other. So I called him and I told him, I'm very sorry. I just scolded you very wrongly. Then that small monk, small kid, maybe few days he was just accusing me, saying that you scolded me very wrongly. You have done a mistake. You have done a wrong thing to me. He just said me a few times, a few days. Now I have to accept it. So that's why some occasion is something like that. So one occasion I was giving the talk in the Tibetan school. So I told that considering the self of the amounts and just saying the sorry when you have the mistakes and all this. So one student had told me that when he done some mistake, so when the teachers they won't scolded him. So previously he used to ask for the forgiveness of the teacher. But whenever he speak or talk with the teacher and ask for the forgiveness, teacher will get more angry. It will see that the first you will do the mistake, now you are shouting, now you are telling me something. So some occasion, but then that student asked me what to do at that situation. So I told you have to keep your practice with the continuation. You have to keep your practice the continuation. But in some cases like this, you might feel that when you consider yourself as the lowest among all, then you might feel that the other is humiliated you. If there's some other, there are two ways of humiliating, two ways. One, the humiliating with the two ways. One, because the one thing is that we cannot overcome the humiliate when you have not dropped your ego. When you cannot drop your ego, you cannot overcome the humiliation. What I mean the overcome the humiliation, the humiliation is when someone humiliates you, it will hurt you very much. If someone hits you and is asked the forgiveness, you can easily forgive him. When someone humiliated you, it is very difficult to forgive that. Humiliation because of the ego. So it does not mean that when I told it does not mean that one occasion in the prison while I was talking to one of the prisoners, he was a young prisoner, so he was asked me, the one prisoner asked me the very sharp question in that prison. So they asked me it's an airport. So asked me the one question. If someone hit on your face, what will you do? That the prisoner asked me the one question. So I told me, if someone hit to me, first I will just search a very good lawyer. Very good lawyer. Then I will think how to deal with this man. So it's like that when I talk about the perspective, considers as yourself lowest among all of the sentient. It doesn't mean that you have to take every loss. You have to, when someone accuses you, you don't have to accept it at all. You can challenge, but without generating the ego, without the anger, then you can deal much better. So that's why I told him that if someone hit on my face, first I will not shout and I will hit him back. First I will find a good lawyer. First, and finding a good lawyer also, first I have to calm my mind. Without the calming mind, without anger, I won't find a good lawyer. So in the Tibetan, what I heard, some of the young kids of the Tibetan, some particular organization in Tibetan, what I heard that they told that if the Tibetan peoples follow the Buddhism Like these practices, Tibet monk and the independent. I don't agree with this point because they are not knowing the proper meaning of the Tibetan Buddhism. I mean the idea. So that's why the one point is that very simple is that so the dropping the ego, you one thing that when you have to consider yourself as the lowest among the all. So if you look at the generally, if you look at the kids, they have a less ego. When you are getting more and more mature and old, when you are the more educated, when you are the more knowledge you gain, simultaneously you will also generate the more ego. That's the worst thing what we are doing. So that's why that we are creating the lots of the problem in the human society, in our family. So now the best way of the resolving these dispute and these problems, what we have to do is that we have to overcome or that we have to now cut the ego, overcome the ego. So that's why the first step, you got it, isn't it? Clearly, isn't it? This is the something, what you have to do when you go out of this center, okay? Day to daily practice, okay? Just see at the 1 week, 2 weeks, okay? Just see the 2 weeks, then see the big difference. Because something is like that, when you are the generator of the ego, it is very difficult to cooperate. In my family, whenever my mother used to accuse my father always tried to prove that he is right. First they will, then he will quarrel. So one occasion I told my father, don't argue and don't argue with my mother. Just tell the word is the Tibetan word we call it, that's right, that's right. Just tell that's right. No matter, just tell that's right. In Tibetan we call it word, that's right, that's right. So initially my father felt very difficult to say that word. Even that's right, because his ego cannot go with it. Very difficult. So I forced him to tell word. I asked him to tell that. Also I remind him to say, oh, that's right, that's right. Later on it became the practice. Now that that's right, he always used to say that that's right, that's right. Now it seems a very, very less disputes comes to my family. Less disputes. But the one thing I remember, the one occasion in the morning, my father was reading the newspaper. My mother asked him what lunch he want to have. Without listening to this question, he said, that's right, that's right. No, it's just like that. If you just carry this advice into your family, when your wife or husband or something accusing you, just say, that's right. Let's see how it's made the difference. Even sometimes a very small thing. Even the small thing, they will just argue each other. Very small things. Even the very small things. There is no use of the arguing each other. No use of the quarreling each other. But they quarrel. They cannot stop it. Because of ego. Because they are thinking they are right. Why they have to cooperate with other ego? So that's why I told him that's right. That's right. This is not the one thing is that now the main thing is when you have to cut the ego or overcome the ego. Practically, when someone accuses you in your family, in the small things, just you have to drop your ego, okay? That's a practically you have to drop it. So when you see the practically drop it your ego, I can say that 50% of the family quarrel or dispute will be next. Never child is not going to never child will not judge them. Never child is not. Vanish and a year old mother. Will be gone where? Yeah. Reduce, okay. Reduce. Drop the way, I'm telling that I asked the one word in English and Tibetan, so I think the Raf gave me the right answer. So I told him the Raf can understand now Tibetan. So you reduce. So, but don't think that these are the family dispute and problem. Don't try to solve it by praying for the Buddha. Okay, don't think that way. You have to solve it. Okay, you don't think that when you come to something else or these all problems, day-to-day life problem, you have to try to solve by yourself. Don't try to find the Buddha will come and solve. Okay, so that's why there is a one man. He's praying to the God to solve the problem, and every time he prays for the God. So. But his life is not going very well. So there is one neighbor who do not believe in the God, who do not believe in any religion, but he is having a very fantastic life. So he was very jealous with that person, and he just one night he prayed for the God and said that God, I believe in you, I prayed for you, but you are not giving me the good life. My neighbor, look at my neighbor, he is having a very good life. He is very fortunate, but he never believes you. He never prayed for you. Why he are having such a good life like that? So suddenly God gave him the answer. God told him that because he never bothers me. You always bothers me. You always troubles me. So same thing, don't bother anyone, Buddha, okay? Bring the Buddhas wherever he resides, okay? Don't bother him. Just try to solve your family dispute yourself, okay? That's the most important point, okay? So that's why family dispute, everything, every day-to-day life problems, maybe if you have to reduce the 50% of the can be reduced when you drop your ego. Only the best way is the dropping your ego. When you can't drop your ego, it is very difficult to settle these life disputes which occurs in your day-to-day life. Now difficulty is keeping the continuation very difficult. My father now, I always have to remind him, say that, that's right, that's right. But still I'm here telling him to keep that the continuation. Yeah, so that's why now the second step is now what you have to do in the practically when you have generated the ego, just try to drop that ego practically. Once you drop the ones and drops, then it will become the habituation. Then it will be very easy for you. Once it becomes the habituation, then it is not difficult at all. I think I told you the stories, yeah, stories. So it is just like that. So right now, because right now what you are doing is that because right now you are not knowing the results of the dropping the ego. When you see the results of the dropping the ego, then you will feel that the ego is such a worst thing. Because into the mind life, so we have to drop a lot of the egos. Because of the when we have to deal with the students, or to talk with the students, first of all, that once we cannot drop our ego, it's very difficult to understand the students' points of view. So to understand the student's point of view, first what I have to do, first I have to consider myself as not just their teacher. Try to come to their level, then try to understand their thinking way. I heard there's one of the great musician. Whenever he plays the flute, every animal loves to listen to his flute. So one occasion he was playing the flute in the jungle. So the tiger, lion, deer all came to listen to his music. So he came to music and they all came to listen to his music. While they listening the music, they all keep very silent. Even the tiger is not attacking the deer. These all keep very silent and they are just listening to his music. So he can play such a fantastic music. He was playing the flute. So there, the one crocodile came over there. Crocodile came near that, came over there. So then the crocodile just approached near of that person. After approaching quite near of that person, crocodile jumped on that flute player and ate the flute player. Then the tiger and the lion, they all get very angry and they shouted at the crocodile, "What you have done? Why you eat that such a great flute player?" They all shouted at the crocodile. But the crocodile saying that, what? Because that crocodile is a deaf. So he cannot hear the music. So same thing like that. Now there is the other deaf. Okay, there is a more worse deaf marwe. Ngo delwa. Marwe. Dre mare. Mamba del Khangser. So there is one more worse deaf than this crocodile who listen to Dharma, not practice. That is the worst deaf. Okay, don't become like that crocodile deaf. Okay, what you have heard and what you have learned, this all the methods. Not practicing is the worst deaf. Okay, don't become like that worst deaf. Okay, because these all practices only you will see during the 1 week. You will see the big differences in your life. So most important thing is that, as I told before, while I am giving the teaching, is not to give you some new idea or not knowledge. Only thing is my purpose is that you can bring the changes in your life and more peace, harmony, happiness in your family is my goal. Okay, this is my goal. While listening to my talks, if you can bring the more happiness, more peace in your family, I'm very happy. Because in my experience, I have one burden in my life. Many years back, is my cousin brother. He was studying at that time in Bangalore. He told me the one thing that his friend was quite stressed and depressed. So he wants to meet me. So I told him I'm quite busy. So you told him that come after the 1 month to the monastery. I'm quite busy in this 1 month. So later, after the 1 week or 2 weeks later, my present brother told me that the very sad thing that his friend committed the suicide. Very sad. Still that I feel that if I met that person maybe 1 month, then maybe I can see it. So that's why that's why I told that every word of what I taught, it's only to make emphasis on the bring on the more happiness, to emphasis more on the happiness through the others. Peace in your life. That's the most important thing, okay? So as I told many times before, religion is a personal issue. Whatever the religion you follow, that's your personal issue. But the happy life, peaceful life is required not only for the human, all of the sentient beings. Even dog wants a peaceful and happy life. But the sad thing is a dog don't know how to live happily. That dog don't know it. But we are the human. We have every right to find the ways how to live the happily. So as I told before, I think I told you, when you buy the new gadgets, you will get the manual how to use it. When you buy the computer, you will get the one manual how to use the computer. When you buy the mobile, you will get the one manual how to use that mobile. When we are born, our mother has not given us the manual how to live. That we need it, okay? That we need how to live happily. Okay? That's why now maybe I will conclude here my talks. So maybe I will keep the 25 minutes or 20 or 25 minutes for the question answer session. Okay? Now keep on what I have talked to the practically, okay? Practice it. Don't become like that crocodile, okay? Practice it, and if you can bring the more happiness and peace in your family, I feel very happy. Okay? Thank you. Now question answer session, okay? Okay.
My question came to my mind about self-confidence. When we go to ego, what is border? If self-confidence is bad, for example, self-confidence can generate ego, or it's good. For example, I say I am a good music player, and then I am best in my work and have a confidence and go on stage. Or if you say I am worse, I am bad, and like that, then you cannot you will go on the stage and shake. So how we can?
I see. Yeah, when you think I am a good painter, that is not ego. Okay. When you start to think that I am the best and I am better than the other, then ego comes, okay? Don't look at the others. Ego always look for the other. Just look at yourself. Just look at your work. Just think that I am good at doing this. So it is not ego. That's a self-confidence. When you start to think that I am better than the other, that's the ego. Okay? So that's why when you have the strong ego, then you will look at not at your works, you will look at the others' work. Then you will looking at the others' work, then you will feel that you are better than others. Okay? So as I told the last time, I think I don't remember. As I told, when your kids bring the marks in your home, when your kids if they get the 90% in their exam, usually what the parents will do, they will just look at the neighbor's kid. They will look at neighbor's kid, they will look at them and they will see. When the neighbor's kids got 92 marks, then they will call their kid and they will look at the neighbor's kid. Actually, they got a 90 marks are very good. But they will look at the other's kid and how they will go. This is the wrong thing what we are doing. Even some parents, they will be happy. Even they got the 40 marks better than their neighbor kids, they will be happy. That's a wrong, not happy. Okay, happy. So that ego is something like that. You will always look at the others. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, fine.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is, if you can eliminate your ego, like being humble, and you eliminate your ego slowly. But people also become humble with low self-esteem, and they think this is ego connected. No.
You are saying that the ego connected with the self-esteem.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you have a low self-esteem, self-esteem.
Okay.
You still will be humble because you have a low self-esteem.
I see. No.
Ego is there.
Nice.
Ego is there. So
Okay.
that your self-esteem is low. So what is the difference now? How would you...
Okay. I got it. Okay. Now, again, first we have to find it out the humble, what the humble means for you. Humble is first, there are the two types of humbles, okay? Some person we feel the humbles. Some person who feels they are worthless. Sometimes they feel who are the person who feels that they are worthless. They are not humble. They are not humble at all. Yeah, these is not humble at all. Because he feels himself as worthless. Worthless is not humble at all. Okay? So, that's why the humble is what we call even they are superior than the other. But if a person who is superior than the other, they are knowing that they are superior than the other, but their action is not doing the superior than the other. That's we call the humble. Humble, you got it, my point of the humble. So
we have the example of a former president, Abdul Kalam.
Okay.
Brilliant rocket scientist.
Yeah.
But he was so humble.
Yeah, that you can say that, yeah, humble, yeah.
He was admired for his humility.
Yeah.
But in spite of all his achievements, he never flaunted them, and he never Rashtrapati Bhavne to
Yeah, that's you can call it humble, yeah. But now the one thing is that now we have to become the humble. We have to become like him. That's the most important thing, yeah. You can call that this is a humble example.
He said that when you like somebody, you tend to become possessive. But it is so natural for all of us. We are more comfortable with some people.
Pardon? Yeah.
We are more comfortable with some people. Would you say that's also a sort of attachment or?
No. That's not attachment. So when you are comfortable with someone, so very simple example. When you are comfortable with someone, first you have to know that whether other is comfortable with you or not. To make the other comfortable with you, what you have to do? You have to think the more welfare of the others. When you start to think the more of the welfare of the others, the person whom you are comfortable with, then that person will feel the comfortable with you. So then you can remain with that person forever together. Right now the time is very much changed and the people feel very difficult to keep the relation with among the people. That's a very difficult point. Now the people, that's why you can see that I think 20 years back I don't see in the Mysore we don't have a pet shop. Now pet shop is becoming quite very, famous. You know the why? Because humans are losing the friendship with the humans. Now he wants a new friend. Now he is making the friendship with the animal. So that's why the pet shop is becoming quite famous. Now I think before 20 years back I don't see any pet shop in Mysore. Now I have 2 or 3 pet shops in Mysore. So because the human we are losing the friendship with the human. Now we feel very difficult to keep the friendship with the human. Now it's easy to talk. So I always used to say the one thing, because they feel that very easy to keep the friendship with the dog. Because they can scold, they can shout, dog will never shout you back. That's why their dog becomes the best friend of the human. So one side, yeah, it's a fun, but one side is a very sad. Now he is not getting a human friend, very sad. So these also friendship is hurted or it will destroyed by the ego. So whenever you are feeling very comfortable with someone, you can live with that. But also you have to think that you should make them so comfortable with you. So that's why you have to think about fear.
In samsara, how do you love people who are attached to you, but you're not attached to them?
Okay.
For example, if my mom or dad, they're attached to me, and I'm not attached to them, but I love them. So in that space of they being attached, you don't feel the same, but you still love them, but I don't want to get attached to
Could
them.
you be given the mic, please?
Okay. Bharat?
Mic.
Okay, Mike.
My question was, in samsara, how do you love people who are attached to you, but you are not attached to them? Because in their attachment, the love you feel is not the love, but you still love them because they are pretty close ones to you, related with blood or friendship. So how do you strike the balance?
Okay. Now there are the 2 ways of striking the balance, okay?
Please
Now,
repeat the question.
okay.
The question is, in samsara, how do you love people who are attached to you, however, you are not attached to them?
You are using 2 words together, attachment and love. Because you use two words.
No, I'm in love with them, but I'm not attached to them. But they are an attachment with me.
No, but they're
So now you want to debate with him? Okay, congratulations. I will take a rest. Okay, you do it. So in the Buddha's time, so Buddha have a Shariputra, Subhuti, very great students. So someone asked the Buddhas this question. Sometimes Buddha used to keep the silence. So he will just ask the Subhuti and the Shariputra to answer. So they will debate each other. So maybe you can take the role of this Shariputra role. Okay, I will take a rest. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, anything to say, sir? Subhashini? No, you can tell.
because he is using those two words interchangeably.
Okay.
That was the problem I was having.
So it's just like that. For the attach and the love is two words from, it's quite different from the point of the Buddhism point of view. Now when you are saying that you are attached toward your parents, when you are saying attached toward your parents, it's basically it's something like that, comes too much of the self-interest. You are attached toward parents. Genuine love is not basic, comes from your self-interest. So attachment and love is a differences is something like that. So I think I mean the seniors might hurt that the one story I mean not a story, that's a one incident. So one man asked me that to bless his marriage life. So he told me that he's going to marry his fiancée after 1 week. So I told him that why you are going to marry your fiancée. So he told me that he will be more happy if he married her. So I told him it's very wrong. You should not think that way. You should think that if you marry her, she will be more happier. That's what we are. First thing, what is the attachment? For the sake of something, he feels that he'll love her, but that attachment, because he loves her, sake of his happiness. He's marrying, sake of his happiness. He wants a family, sake of his happiness. But if he started to think the sake of her happiness, that's a genuine love. So, now same thing, your parents. When you the sake of the welfare of your parents, if you care, that's a pure love. Sake of your interest, when you started to love your parents, that's the attachment. So, initial state, it is quite difficult to differentiate or to make the differentiate between the attachment and love. But while you are with the practice, then it is not very difficult. But the most difficult thing is overcome is quite difficult.
The question was other way around. When I'm in love, but I'm not attached to them, but they are attached. So how do we strike the balance? Because they need to meet you, be with you.
Okay, but if they are attached to it, that's not your problem. Their problem. Forget it at all. So, actually, I will tell you one thing. One occasion, the journalists have asked His Holiness Dalai Lama. His Holiness Dalai Lama is very close to George Bush. So he asked him not to wage the war to the Iraq. So he told that journalist that he gave the advice to the George Bush not to wage the war to the Iraq. The journalist asked him that, now he had not followed your advice. He already waged the war to the Iraq. Then His Holiness Dalai Lama said, now it's not my problem, his problem. Same thing that your parents are attached to, you are not attached, then good. And then that's their problem. Anyway, any other question? Yeah.
No, last thing, I'm finishing it off. So, but you heard them, right, in this balance. Because knowingly or unknowingly, if you look at the Buddhist concept, with any action you do, and you know for sure that in this action, if somebody else is getting hurt, I would probably don't want to do that. So in this, because if you look at relationships, that's the main problem everybody has. You know, in work, my boss, my customers, my friends, it's all the problem all around. You know, samsara is human beings' problem, one-on-one. So how do you strike this balance? I mean, this example can be with my parents. Now I can't abandon my parents, but still I love them, but still I don't want to get attached to them. So, but then I don't want to hurt them as well. If I have to, you understand the question, right? How do you strike this balance without hurting, without going, like Dalai Lama said, I don't want to, he will not say whatever China tells. The same way, I don't want to accept whatever my parents say. So how do you?
Okay, this is a very different problem. So it means that you don't want to follow every of your parents' word, and also you don't want to hurt them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a very totally different problem. Okay, different problem and different situation. Okay. Now when you cannot follow every of your parents' word, now what you have to do? You have to find a middle way. Middle way is something like that. Middle way is something like that. Example. Example like that, because the past 1 or 2 years, so I don't eat the meat. I just become a vegetarian. But in the Tibetan tradition, what we feel is the vegetarian is very unhealthy for the diet. Because I think thousands of the years we are the Tibetan people, where the diet is based on meat. So my parents, they all forced me to switch over to the non-veg, forcing me. So still I need a little time to think about that. But now I have to find the middle way. So middle way is something like that. My parents that I will think. I'm not arguing with their point. Just I will tell I will think. Sometimes I give the silence. Sometimes I can smile. So that's why even you have to the middle way. Even in the Buddha's time, when someone has asked a question, when he don't want to give the answer, so he gives the smile, silence. So sometimes you have to use these tactics, keeping the smile, keeping the silence. Also sometimes it works. Okay? So whenever your parents tell you something that you don't want to do it, you will reject that idea, then it will hurt them. Don't reject it at all. Just listen it. Be a good listener. Keep the smile. Keep the smile. So definitely it will not hurt them if you keep the smile. Also you can mute your head also.
And go back to the question of ego. So the antidote to ego, you said, is putting others above yourself. So at times, especially in our daily life situations, if we are very humble, people interpret it as weakness. And in your sense of humbleness, it will go on for a week, then month, then 2 months, then maybe you will lose your patience. And then the ego erupts.
So you mean that when you are too humble, then others will
the others will take it as weakness.
Okay. This story. There's one sage. And he was visiting the one village. There's a very strong, the snake. The very big snake. Usually all the villagers get afraid of that snake. So sometimes he used to attack the villagers. So all villagers get scared of that snake. So sage gave the teaching to the snake and told, you should not attack. You should be very humble. You should be compassionate. Then what happened is that then the snake stopped attacking the villager. He have never bite the villager. Then what happened is that one the villager kids came near the snake. Snake nothing. Then the few villagers came approached near that snake. They started to play with the snake. That snake have done nothing. Then slowly they just hit with a stick with the snake. But snake have done nothing. The one occasion when sage visited that village village after the months, then he saw the very pathetic situation of the snake. Snake was hit with a very big stone on his head. He was nearly to die. So then the sage had told him that what happened to you? I followed your advice, being humble, compassionate. Now villagers have started to hit me. Now they started to hit me and they with the stone. Now they are needed to kill. So this is a very wrong way of the pathetic and the humble. Very wrong way of practice. I'm not saying that when you consider the superior than all other, I'm not saying that let them take advantage of you. No. As that the prisoner have asked me the question, if someone hit on my face, what will you do? I told I found a good lawyer. It does not mean that if someone hit I will not say that if someone hit on my right chin, I won't say that hit on my left chin. I won't say never. I won't say that, okay? Then if you say like that, then everyone take the advantage of everyone. No doubt. This world is some place like that if someone get the advantage, they will take it more and more. If someone hit on your right chin, don't show the left chin, okay? Then just tell him, wait. Then find a good lawyer. Then sue everything, then what you are doing. I does not mean that humble means that accept everything, what the wrong things have done. I am not saying that you have to accept. Otherwise you will become like that snake, okay? So you can see it at the Tibetan and the Chinese situation. We are not, His Holiness Dalai Lama not saying that whatever the Chinese says. He used to give a very tough answer to them. So, same thing that in your life is just like that. Being the humble is like that. So what we are doing in our life is that humble is something like that. When we mentally, we have to be the very humble. Mentally humble does not mean that physically you have to be the very humble. Mentally humble and the physically humble are the two things. Some people are physically very humble, mentally not humble. Now here I am saying you have to become mentally humble, not physically. Then otherwise, as you take, then other will take the advantage of you. Okay? Any other questions?
Morning you spoke about explaining very well about ignorance, desire, attachment, with a very valid example. So my question is based on what we call in today's world, what we call compassion, capitalism. So which means in today's time, compassion capitalism basically means to create a wealth for the others, or to create a growth for the growth of other people. So if you look at the grassroots, you aspire to, for example, like you inspire to have a company. So when you create a build empire, you're helping a lot of people to work. So eventually you are helping that family. And you eventually helping the society. So that's how, for me, it looks like much more realistic. You know, but, what is your opinion when you find that compassion capitalism, what do you see? Because from my side, it's a kind of mix of attachment, desire, but on the other hand, I think that's a good thing.
Okay. Now here the some of the compassion capitalism. So now the compassion, everything is depends on the motivation. Now I will give you the, maybe can you turn off the recorder? It's a very sensitive issue. I will take the one thing. It's a sensitive issue. Regarding, I think that His Holiness talking about beyond the religion, the morality and ethics. Morality, the ethics talks. It's a beyond of the religious idea. It's required in the every. It requires in the every idea. It's required in the every business idea and the day-to-day life idea. So I think it's the compassion and. I think the morality and ethics is more important than the compassion in the capitalism idea.
Okay, my second question is what you answer to my question. My question is that if someone aspire to run an organization based on the genuine ethics and morale, I will not able to survive in this competitive world. In today's time, many of the organizations, their values are very strong, but their morale is not to, when they started the organization, they don't start the organization by helping the society. But eventually they started doing well in business, and they have a lot of people. Like, if I look at myself, my morale must be very strong, but I'm not able to help as much as these people, very rich people. There are a lot of rich people in Western countries, in India as well, who help a lot of people on the large scale. But their morals, I don't know whether their morals are strong enough, but their action speaks louder, in terms of from my side.
Okay. Now it's coming to making the, okay. Now the morality, the ethics, what I'm talking is, now we have to look at from the two aspects on this field, two aspects. When you're just looking at the making the profit point of view, I can't say the morality, the ethics are important or not to making the profit. But when you think of the bringing the, the benefit, when you think of the looking at the bringing the benefit for the others, then I think the moralities are very important, ethics are very important. Because lack of the, you can see that if you look at a very holistic point of view, in this world, in this world, what happening is that a lot of the, in the business company, when they are not follow the morality, the ethics properly, it will bring the more disaster to the people. As you can see that the few, big companies, maybe they are hiring the 1,000 family, 1,000 maybe workers, they are helping for the 1,000 people. When they make the product with the such of the, the very unhygiene, if they use something with the business based on the immorality, without any morality, that business will hurt the more than 1,000 people. It will hurt more. So that's why my point is very simple. Is that my point is that now if you look from the making the point of the making the profit, then maybe I'm not very sure that the morality or ethics are important, or that I'm not very sure. But looking the point of the bringing the more benefit for the social, I think it's very important. So this morality, ethics are very important in the business to bring that business to the welfare or to bring the benefit for the millions of the people. I think morality, ethics are very important. So that's why with some of the the occasion I talk with the business people. Some business people, well, some they used to tell me that without using the lie, it is very difficult to survive the business. But I don't fully agree with this point. But still, I'm not very sure because I'm not a businessman, so I don't know how they do the business. But still, I don't feel that the very lie is very important in the business. I don't feel it from my. So yeah.
On this point, because I come from that thing, so I have the point. Yes, we can say that we should not lie, and that's morality. But going back, if it's just a sheet of numbers and you are being very true, a large part of your income will end up in the hands of the tax authorities. In a country like India, most of the tax authorities are not efficiently using that money. So you end up paying a large part of the income to an entity who does not use it beneficially. But some of these organizations, maybe but not by lying, but by manipulating, use that money to put back into the business or give it to charities or whatever. So it becomes a very gray area. What is morality? Because my government has defined something XYZ and they are putting it that is the right thing. Is this person wrong or not?
But here now the question comes that you are paying the money for the tax paying money. What the government will do, don't bother it at all. From the first step, what you have to do, that's important. When you are every citizen of the India think they are evading the tax, what will happen to the government? What something big bad thing happens to the government, it will affect the rest of the citizens of the India. So therefore every citizen first responsibility what to think as a thing is to follow the paying the tax properly. So that's a very important thing. At least you can pay the tax properly. At least less evading is more important.
Yeah, because I see all the individuals end up paying properly and organizations end up evading it. And what happens in the back end happens in the back end. So
Your question is?
Like what you're saying, at an individual level, I don't think many people are, most of the people are morons. There will be few. But at an organization level, I think, I don't know the answer. Most of the organizations might not be morons.
So your question is? It's just your, okay. Now, maybe, yeah.
What you were saying about the discussion on liberating self, and you mentioned the point of ignorance. And from this discussion and also earlier your references, it looks like this ignorance is very common everywhere, among myself also. But most of the time it becomes very difficult for me to accept that I am myself very ignorant, and sometimes also do not know how to come out of this ignorance easily. It's more on me. So, and this is also the result for many sufferings which is existing. And other things I could understand that I am attached to something or I get angry and so many things. But about ignorance, which somehow myself do not get idea to what extent of ignorant I am, and what could be the way which can make me to come out of this ignorance which I am surrounded with or myself I am carrying with. So can you throw something how to handle the ignorance which is most common with everyone including myself, which can help me to move forward in liberating self?
So Ritesh, so I don't know the easy way to overcome the ignorance. That I don't know. I know the one difficult way. Overcome the ignorance, the difficult way. So when you have to come over the, so right now what we have to do is that we have to try to decrease the ignorance. Then when we have to fully overcome the ignorance, then I think you are not very far from Buddhahood. Then you are very near to Buddhahood. Okay? So So that's why that's why when you have to, so that's why when you have to decrease the ignorance, what we have to do, you have to learn more, understand the more of the Buddha's teaching. So reading the more of the Buddha's teaching, then it will eliminate the more of your ignorance. That is the one of the best way. Okay? Now I will stop here. Thank you very much. Then I will say that, then I will state now the short prayers for the welfare of the whole of the sentient beings. With prayers, I hope that you may have the more happy life, more peaceful life, may it bring the more happiness and peace in your family, society, nation, in the whole over the world. Okay? Thank you. Yes, Shindu Neve Kashi Sho, Shinu Mama Hajola, Soata, Bosan Tabaye, Chana Shune, Shindu Nuyo, Bosan Doji, Chandu Tashi Shun. Generike, Kandro Jinche, Nize Bosan Tabe, Chinje, Tunzo Puma, Tashi Shun.